Good afternoon, everyone. So I was waiting so that people could join in, but they haven't joined yet. So we'll start with the classes as discussed. So yesterday we were discussing about the how does fashion as an industry works. So we talked about design, we talked about manufacturing, we talked about marketing and retailing, we talked about the supply chain systems. So this channel so all of these channels come together so that we could possibly talk about um fashion as a whole, fashion as a global industry. Now, before we understood how this industry works, now let's get into some history. Okay, how did this industry flourish? I mean, back then ये तो industry था नहीं, correct? So लेकिन जैसे हम लोगों को पता है कि we what are the three basic essential needs of human life? So the three basic essential needs of human life are roti, kapda, and makan. That is food, clothing, and shelter. Clothing being a very important part. I mean, the one of the important need of human life. It started back in the ancient civilization when people started to weave their garment, weave their fabric, and drape it. So the evolution of fashion spans centuries and has been influenced by a myriad of factors. So it's not just one factor which has influenced fashion or had started with the evolution of clothing, but then the industry has flourished from the ancient civilization. So I'll just brief it out for you so that you can understand what are the key moments and influences that fashion industry has or has crossed, right? Now, coming to ancient civilization, fashion can be traced back to ancient civilization like Egypt, Greece, and Rome, wherein wherein clothing was used and often used to signify social status and identity, right? Now, Greek, Romans, and Egypt, ये कुछ सिविलाइजेशन, ये कुछ पीरियड हैं. ये ग्रीक सिविलाइजेशन, इजिप्शियन सिविलाइजेशन, रोमन एम्पायर. तो यहाँ पे लोग फैब्रिक बुनना स्टार्ट किए. बुनने के बाद then they started wearing it as a piece of protection initially, so that they can cover their body with the different changing climatic conditions, right? To keep their body warm so that it is not affected by any insects or anything, right? So they started taking care of their body. And how did they take care of their body? By draping a piece of fabric. Okay, by draping a piece of fabric. Now, fashion has always reflected, the social, cultural, and political and technological developments of its time. The journey of the fashion industry was predominantly into divided into four major historical phases: the ancient and medieval period, right, wherein the Greece, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Rome, India, and China, clothing symbolized status, gender, and religion rather than trends. So initially ये ट्रेंड्स तो ये अभी का सिनेरियो का वर्क है, बट कपड़ा तब से चालू हुआ जब हम लोग बनना तब से स्टार्ट हुआ जब हम लोग उसको एज अ पीस ऑफ एज अ पार्ट ऑफ एसेंशियल्स मान रहे थे. नेचुरल फाइबर्स को एक्सट्रैक्ट करके लोग कपड़ा बनाते थे, सच एज लिनन, कॉटन, सिल्क, वूल, ये सब यूज होता था। डाइंग, एम्ब्रॉयडरी वगैरह भी होना स्टार्ट हो गया था धीरे धीरे, राइट। सो अगर होलसम अगर देखा जाए, अगर इफ वी सी दी क्लोथिंग सिविलाइजेशन एज अ होल, राइट, सो the cultural significance of draped garment evolved, right। पहले लोग कपड़ा पहन बनाते थे, कपड़े को ही ड्रेप करते थे अलग अलग फॉर्म में, राइट। जैसे कि ग्रीक में रोमन्स वेयर वेयरिंग टोगाज, राइट। ग्रीक में लोग पेप्लोज वगैरह पहनते थे, राइट, चिटॉन्स पहनते थे। ऐसे ही हर इंडिया में साड़ी पहनने लगे थे, राइट। चाइना में ऐसे ही। तो अलग अलग कंट्री में अलग अलग नाम के हिसाब से गारमेंट को ड्रेप किया जाने लगा था, और वो उनका कोलोकियल नाम था। जैसे कि इंडिया में हम लोग 6 मीटर ऑफ फैब्रिक को जब हम ड्रेप करते हैं अलग अलग तरह से, उस हिसाब से उसका नाम चेंज हो जाता है। जैसे कि साड़ी का ड्रेपिंग स्टाइल, ओके, दिस इज वेरी डिफरेंट। जैसे कि आप कोई भी रीजन ऑफ इंडिया से हो, लेट्स से बिहार, लेट्स से Kolkata, let's say, any other part of the country, right? So, any other part of the country would reflect the different draping style. You know, they would see the style and then name it, right? Likewise, ग्रीक रोमन्स ये सब लोग भी अपने हिसाब से ही चीजों को चेंज करने लगे थे, करेक्ट। एंड देन लोगों को चीज़ों को चेंज करने लगे थे, एंड देन फिर उस हिसाब से इसका एक्सेप्टेंस बढ़ता गया लोगों के बाद। नाउ सेकेंड इज, फर्स्ट वाज एंशियंट एंड मिडिवल पीरियड, जहाँ पे कि ट्रेड रूट वगैरह स्टार्ट हो गया, सिल्क रूट बन गया, जहाँ पे कि लोग ग्लोबल ट्रेड इन टेक्सटाइल्स एंड लग्जरी मटेरियल्स का ट्रेड करने लगे, सिल्क और ब्रोकेड्स को लेके लोग बाहर बेचने लगे, करेक्ट। उसके बाद रेनेसा आया, रेनेसा एंड बारोकी पीरियड, 1400 सी टू 1700 सी। so this was a period wherein it emphasized beauty, individuality and luxury। यहाँ पे लोग फिर ब्यूटी को एम्फोसिस देने लगे, इंडिविजुअलिटी एज इन पर्सनैलिटी एंड लग्जरी। तो लोग इसको भी अपने हिसाब से इसको फिर क्लासिफाई करने लगे इन टर्म्स ऑफ देयर सोसाइटल स्टेटस, ओके। रेनेसां और बारोकी पीरियड में सोशल हायरार्की एंड क्लोथिंग, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया था उस पीरियड ऑफ टाइम में, क्योंकि जो अपर क्लास के लोग थे, द इंपेरियल क्लास और द नोबिलिटी यूज्ड फैशन टू डिस्प्ले वेल्थ, ओके, रेस्ट्रिक्टेड कॉमनर्स फ्रॉम वेयरिंग सर्टेन फैब्रिक्स और कलर्स। तो वो कॉमन लोग जो थे, जो लेबर क्लास के थे, तो उनको मना कर दिया गया, उनको रेस्ट्रिक्ट किया गया कि आप इस तरीके का कपड़ा नहीं पहन सकते, और आप ये, दिस इज नॉट अलाउड। क्योंकि तब तो डिक्टेटरशिप था, ठीक है, मोनार्की था। तो जैसा राजा बोलेगा उस हिसाब से उसका वो शासन होगा। तो दिस वाज द थिंग, राइट। यूरोपियन सेंटर्स में फिर लोग क्या करने लगे, इटली और फ्रांस बहुत फैशन में ग्रो करने लगा, वेर इन अर्ली फैशन लीडर्स became very very popular in Italy and France, okay। Trade routes brought new textiles from different countries from Asia and the new world, right। तो exploration बहुत ज्यादा होने लगा, ठीक है। So from the very beginning, Italy and France, they become the major fashion hubs। वहीं से ही सारा कुछ स्टार्ट हुआ, राइट। फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन के बारे में आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा। यूरोप में ही ये जो स्टाइलिंग और जो गाउन्स वगैरह किंग के लिए, जो गाउन्स वगैरह, वो सब उसी पीरियड से ही स्टार्ट हुआ, राइट। देन कम्स द इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन, 18 टू 19 सेंचुरी। तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, फिर प्रोडक्शन, जब मैं बोल रही थी ना आपको, मास स्केल में बनने लगा। तब क्या था, जब मोनार्की था तो कस्टमाइज चीजें बनती थी, क्वीन के लिए, ये सिर्फ क्वीन के लिए ही है और ये क्वीन ही पहनेगी, करेक्ट। सो दिस वाज द थिंग। बट पोस्ट इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन, inventions like spinning jenny, power loom and sewing machine transformed the fashion production, ठीक है। तो क्या हुआ वहां पे, उस पीरियड में, इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन में पावर लूम वगैरह का इंट्रोडक्शन हो गया, स्विंग मशीन का यूज होने लगा, क्योंकि उससे पहले सब कुछ इट वाज ऑल मैनुअल, इट वाज ऑल हैंडलूम, इट वाज ऑल मेड विथ प्रिसिशन विद बट विथ मैनुअल लेबर। लेकिन उस चीज में ये धीरे 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 ये नए टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट्स होने लगे, राइट। रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स बिगिन टू अपीयर इन सिटीज लाइक लंदन, पेरिस, ये सारे जगह में रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स मिलने लगे। जैसे कि आप लोग आज जाके खरीदते हो, शॉपिंग करते हो, पहनते हो, वो रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स है ना, बनी बनाया, रेडीमेड मतलब इट इज रेडी टू बी worn, राइट। Likewise, fashion became more accessible to mass. Magazines and illustrations spread styles rapidly. Now, fashion यहाँ पे क्या हुआ कि ये बहुत एक्सेसिबल हो गया। मास प्रोडक्शन में जब चीजें होंगी तो डेफिनेटली वो एक्सेसिबल तो हो जाएगा, ये सिर्फ आप तक लिमिटेड नहीं रहेगा, करेक्ट। तो मास प्रोडक्शन वगैरह होने लगा, ठीक है। नाउ उसी पीरियड में बहुत सारे फैशन डिजाइनर्स दे स्टार्टेड क्रिएटिंग देयर ओन स्टाइल, ओके। चार्ल्स फ्रेडरिक वर्थ, he was the first he is considered as the first fashion designer. Charles Frederick Worth, he is considered as the first fashion designer and established the idea of fashion house in Paris. He was the first one to establish a fashion house in Paris, right? Am I clear to everyone? Now coming to the early 20th century, okay, so in this period, this 20th century actually witnessed a rapid change in fashion, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट हो चुके थे, तो उसी में ही रिसर्च हो रहा था और बहुत सोशल मूवमेंट्स, ग्लोबल मूवमेंट्स वगैरह होने लगे। जैसे कि आर्ट मूवमेंट्स वगैरह भी हो रहे थे, आर्ट डेको, क्यूबिज्म, सरियलिज्म, इंस्पायर्ड क्लोथिंग एंड डिजाइन, तो ये सारी चीजें होने लगी। Film stars begin to shape the fashion trends because then Hollywood and media was also there, right? Now, designers like Coco Chanel, simplified women's wear, introducing comfort and elegance, right? So ये सारी चीजें वहाँ होने लगी, correct? Now उसके बाद है post World War II, okay? Then in this period, okay, there was a shift towards more practical and utilitarian clothing and styles, right? क्योंकि तब लोग, क्या हुआ वर्ल्ड वॉर टू के बाद, द वन हु वर जो वॉर फ्रंट में थे, द मेल मेंबर्स ऑफ द हाउस, ठीक है, वॉर में बहुत लोग, ऑल ऑफ द ऑल मेंस मेजरली डाइड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, राइट। वर्ल्ड वॉर होने के बाद द फीमेल हैड टू स्टेप आउट in the to earn the bread for the family. When a woman is stepping out for to earn bread for the family, so we need to understand that the garment has to be very very functional and very very practical, क्योंकि हम आज के डेट में, यू कैन नॉट वेयर अ लहंगा एंड गो टू ऑफिस टू वर्क एंड दैट्स अ ट्रेडिशनल वेयर, राइट, because it is not to comfortable to work, right, it will act as a hindrance। वो आप उतना फ्री मूवमेंट नहीं कर सकते जैसे आप एक शर्ट या ट्राउजर में कर सकते हो। इट इज मोर कंफर्टेबल, एक कुर्ती और लेगिंग्स में जैसे कर सकते हो, वो पॉसिबल नहीं है। एक लहंगा पहन के आप वो काम नहीं कर सकते। जो मोशन, योर मूवमेंट इज रेस्ट्रिक्टेड, सो विच इज वाई इन पोस्ट वॉर एरा, so there was a practical and utilitarian shift towards clothing, and the rise of American sportswear and introduction of ready-to-wear collection by designers like Christian Dior and Coco Chanel marked this period. Why? Because Christian Dior's new look in 1947, where they made female skirts. It was completely feminine, but at the same time it was very very practical. It was not heavy as your rococo gowns, or it didn't had that big, it didn't belong to that category only, right? Yves Saint Laurent, who introduced ready to wear lines and gender fluid silhouettes, unisex garments. Okay, Yves Saint Laurent introduced the gender fluid silhouettes. Now, Marie Quant popularized miniskirt during 1960, short skirts so that you can walk freely, right? So, Marie Quant was one who popularized this thing, right? So, after that, the counterculture movement started, okay, wherein this subculture movement also started. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, ग्लोबलाइजेशन और ब्रांडिंग भी came into force, right? Globalization and branding also came into force. Yes, जहाँ पे कि fashion capitals like Paris, Milan, New York, and London became global centers of fashion. Supermodels, media, promotion, branding, brands, labels बनने लगे. Brands like Gucci, Versace, Prada. Okay, they became the lifestyle symbols that when we are putting something. आज के डेट में भी आप जाके कभी कोई ब्रांडेड चीजें खरीद के पहनते हो तो इट इज अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग. यू फील कि अच्छा, हमने अच्छा ब्रांडेड कपड़ा पहना हुआ है, बिकॉज वी क्रेव फॉर दैट ब्रांड. वी वांट टू बी प्रेजेंटेड इन सम वे वेयर इन द ब्रांड स्टैंड्स, राइट? आज हम कैल्विन क्लेन के अगर शूज, मतलब सॉरी, कैल्विन क्लेन के अगर शर्ट्स पहन ले तो वी थिंक यस, इट इज अ सोसाइटल स्टेटस सिंबल कि हाँ, इसके पास पैसा है तो ये कैल्विन क्लेन अफोर्ड कर पा रहा है, राइट? सो दैट इज द जनरल phenomena and perception that people carry around. But it leads to that false, you know uh, development of that false system, right? Wherein we talk about the कि हाँ, ये चलो इसके बाद बहुत पैसा है, and because he's wearing, there are also dupes which has been introduced into the market, right? So fast fashion brands भी they came into force like Zara, H&M. ये सब भी आने लगे 21st century में. Everything became has seen recent advancements, like online platform and social media transformed how fashion is consumed and marketed, right? आप देखो, कोविड के टाइम में सब उससे पहले ऑनलाइन खरीदते थे, करेक्ट? कोविड के टाइम में हर चीज सॉरी ऑफलाइन खरीदते थे, हर चीज ऑनलाइन हो गया. आज के डेट में आप बोलो मुझे, कितने लोग आप में से हो जो कि डिजिटली पेमेंट देता है, या फिर सॉरी कैश में पेमेंट देता है? Everyone has shifted to the digital platform. Everyone has started spending their money by Google Play or Phone Pay or Paytm or any other website, right? Any other platform. But the most important key take from here is that you have to understand the intricacies of this moving system, right? So overall, the evolution of fashion reflects the changing values, aspirations, and identities of society throughout the history, making it a fascinating lens where people can really explore culture and human behavior, राइट? तो फैशन आज के डेट में नहीं है. पहले फैशन था अपने कप बॉडी को ढकने के लिए, टू कवर योर सेल्फ, कवर योर बॉडी. बट देन धीरे 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 ये इसका ट्रेंड ही ऐसा बना कि पीपल स्टार्टेड वेयरिंग गारमेंट्स नॉट जस्ट टू कवर देयर बॉडी, बट दे स्टार्टेड wearing it. पिंकी पिंकी तक कौन था? हाँ, they started to wear it in this manner wherein they could show off what they are wearing. So it is no more, the intention is no more to cover their body, but there is a paradigm shift. There is a thought. There's a shift from what we used to think and what we are thinking. We have to look good. So that is the essence of clothing right now, which is why trend came in. विच इज वाई ट्रेंड केम इन कि आज ये लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं, आज ये पहनेंगे, कल ये ट्रेंड में नहीं होगा तो लोग नहीं पहनेंगे. अंडरस्टूड? सो व्हेन इट वाज अ नेसेसिटी, बट नाउ इट इज नॉट नेसेसिटी. बट आज के डेट में सबके पास सरप्लस कपड़ा है. Everyone is having fabrics and fashion clothing in surplus. एंड वेर इन इतना ज्यादा है कि लोग आज सस्टेनेबिलिटी पे आ गए हैं, क्योंकि लोग इतना कपड़ा वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, इतना लैंडफिल में जाके गिर रहा है, इतना कपड़ा लोग फेंक रहे हैं कि उससे इतना पोल्यूशन हो रहा है दैट we the European nation has already talked about the sustainability, the is talking about sustainability, sustainable development goals, which has to be met by 2030, right? So that's the thing, that's how temperament has changed, that's how people have changed, that's how influence of fashion media has changed people thought processes, right? So the evolution of fashion reflects how a value has shifted, how identities of societies have shifted, right? So that's a very tricky part wherein people are showcasing themselves in a very different way from what actually they are, right? And fashion industry today, modern fashion, today balances the heritage and innovation, wherein combining craftsmanship, technology and sustainability to meet the needs of global conscious consumer. Nowadays people are becoming conscious, people are trying to purchase that much only, what the amount that is needed. People are shifting towards something which is sustainable, which can be which is biodegradable, which is ethical, right? People are becoming conscious about what they are wearing, how they are wearing, is there a need or not. So people are becoming conscious day by day, so which is a very good thing again, right? Okay, just a second. So we talked about the history. Now let's talk about how did this industry work. That is very important. Now, in the last class, we talked about how this entire industry works. We talked about design, manufacturing, so the step-by-step processes. Now, how it actually happens. So this is a flow chart wherein you can see we start with planning. We start with planning, how what do we plan and how do we plan, right? So we analyze the historic performance, as mean the past sales data. Okay, suppose we are selling something. Okay, how do we know it is selling or not? We are selling n number of products, so how do we know that okay, this is something, that that this is selling well, right? So what do we do is, ideally, we analyze everything through our past sales data, right? By we analyze by correcting the past sales. Okay, and we respond to the current customer trends. Okay, so we see whether the person is liking that or not, right? We understand by checking that, right? हम देखते हैं कि अच्छा ये प्रोडक्ट अच्छा बिक रहा है, मार्केट में रेस्पॉन्स इसका अच्छा है, सो ये चीज हम देखते हैं। और देखते ये भी हैं कि उस प्रोडक्ट को अगर मार्केट में बेचा गया तो उसका कोई प्रॉफिट या उसका कोई प्रॉपर कस्टमर उसको ले रहा है कि नहीं, तो वो भी देखते हैं हम। ठीक है, सो वी we plan a product according to the historic performance and respond to the करंट कस्टमर ट्रेंड्स। जैसे कि हम देखते हैं कि कोई प्रोडक्ट दूसरे ब्रांड में सेम प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छा बिक रहा है, तो उससे हमें ये पता चलता है कि हम कुछ ऐसा प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली देर इज अ मार्केट पोटेंशियल जहाँ पे कि लोग ये प्रोडक्ट को अप्रिशिएट करेंगे और खरीदेंगे। करेक्ट, सो दैट्स हाउ वी प्लान, राइट? एंड हमेशा याद ये रखिएगा कि फैशन ऑलवेज वर्क्स अ ईयर अहेड ऑफ टाइम, राइट? ये हमेशा एक साल पहले ही प्लान करता है। जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ वी थिंक ऑफ 2026 ऑटम विंटर कलेक्शन, वो अभी तक रेडी होके प्लान होके बन रहा होगा, तो 2026 का जो कलेक्शन होगा वो अभी तक बन चुका होगा। सो इमेजिन हाउ फास्ट our current is how trends are changing, and how do this forecasters, fashion forecasters, take a note of everything and then accordingly design products as per the consumer taste and preferences. So that is also very important to understand how do these forecasters work and predict the fashion which is a year ahead of us, right? So that's also very tricky. Now, after analyzing the historic performances and responding to the current consumer needs, then we design. Okay, Prerna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, are you getting what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Now, talking about design, so ideation on potential concepts. Now, when we think of a product, we tend to design, right? We tend to design. We ideate on the aspects that could be considered while we are designing a product, right? Now, how do we design? We understand the functionalities of a product, the need of the market, the consumer base, the price points at which it will be sold. All of that factors comes into force, and then we brainstorm a design and then we actualize it, right? And then we actualize it. Then what happens is we leverage tools for collaboration. What we do is, then we look out for suppliers, we look out for people who can collaborate, we look out for people who can put their valuable insights into development, towards the development or designing a product, right? The people who are good at something. Okay, think of collaboration. Now let's say Nike and Jordan. You must have seen कि Nike का वो Jordan का एक collection launch हुआ, right? Why did it got famous? Any answer, Prerna? Prerna?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me the question I asked. Can you answer me? Why did Nike Jordan, got famous?
Just the type of the cloth they are selling and the brand marketing is very perfect about that.
Okay, okay. That's one part of it. Now, yeah, Nike is a brand, is an established brand. People know that Nike is a brand which is popular in sports, right? Understood? Now,
Yes.
Just a second. Just a second. Yes. Sorry, I got a little busy. Yep. Now coming to, yes, where was I? Yes, I was on Nike Jordan. So, yeah, obviously the marketing of the brand. So it is a collaboration project. Okay, it was a collaboration project wherein Michael Jordan, okay, he's a very famous personality, and when he collaborated with Nike, so Nike sales also went up, and Jordan को भी लोग बहुत, the fan following of Jordan is very high, right? So which is why जब इंसान कोलैबोरेट किया, जब नाइकी कोलैबोरेट किया, he chose a very famous star, right? He chose a very famous star, very famous sports person, right? At the same time फिर उसने नाइकी जो ब्रांड है उसको भी ये किया, तो उसका एक तो जॉर्डन को भी प्रॉफिट हुआ कि हाँ नाइकी के साथ उसने कोलैबोरेट किया, उसके फैन फॉलोअर्स जो थे वो भी वो प्रोडक्ट को खरीदने लगे, करेक्ट। एंड उससे नाइकी को भी ये फायदा हुआ कि उसके प्रोडक्ट्स का सेल्स भी उस पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी का सेल बहुत हाई हो गया। सो व्हेन टू फेमस things come together, so definitely there is a peak or surge in the product line that you are selling, right? Which is why people also look for collaborations. Now once you have designed the product, then you need to develop the product, you actually start manufacturing the product, okay? Now after so when you develop a product, you also ensure that कि कहाँ से क्या चीज उठाना है, कहीं जैसे कि चाइना से हम फैब्रिक सोर्स करते हैं because it is cheaper, right? Likewise we have different, we check for different sourcing options, right? So that we could get the best at the lowest cost, right? Because उससे क्या होता है कि प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इंडेक्स जो है हमारा बढ़ जाता है, करेक्ट। नाउ we have to, before we get into production, okay, before we get into production, we develop the samples कि कितना time लग रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, how much man hours does it take to make one single product. So accordingly the estimates are made, keeping all of those factor in sync. Okay, now after that we go for sourcing. हमने sources identify, then we go for sourcing. भी हमने fabric source किया, हमने trims source किया, हमने हमने कुछ अलग embellishment source किया, कहीं बाहर से कहीं कहीं से. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद after getting all of that we start producing the product. We start producing the product, right? So producing means starts manufacturing. We start manufacturing the product. After that it is sent to the delivery partner. Delivery partner as in the retail space. Here the delivery partner means the retail space wherein the product will actually get sold. Okay, यहाँ जाने के बाद हम अलग अलग ज्योग्राफी के हिसाब से जो प्रोडक्ट बनाए हैं उसको लेके वहां वहां हम लोग भेजते हैं. वो भेजने के बाद फिर यहाँ पे प्रोडक्शन का काम खत्म. यहाँ पे प्रोडक्शन वाले अपना काम करके दे दिए और फिर वो दूसरा काम करेंगे. अभी यहाँ पे रिटेल वालों का काम स्टार्ट होता है जहाँ पे कि वो प्रोडक्ट को फ्लोर पे लगाते हैं और फिर देखते हैं कि सीजन लॉन्च है कुछ भी है तो उस हिसाब से उससे पहले प्रोडक्ट नए लग जाने चाहिए, क्योंकि that is the time when people will start come to your shop and then start shopping. Okay, Durga Puja ke time, Holi ke time, different festivals and different occasions में लोग खरीदते हैं. People do shop, right? So likewise they deliver the product. So the production unit delivers the product to the retail and the retail starts selling the product, right? And then the entire money gets, so the products get liquidated. So now हमने आइडिएट किया, आइडिया को हमने फिर ट्रांसफॉर्म किया एक एक्चुअल प्रोडक्ट में, फिर उस प्रोडक्ट को बेच के हमने उस आइडिया को कैपिटलाइज किया, हमने उस प्रोडक्ट को लिक्विडेट करके हमें पैसा मिला इन रिटर्न, right? So that's how the entire system works in the fashion industry. Okay, so we charge for the ideation, we charge for the labor, we charge for the stitching, we charge for the design, we charge for the supply chain, we charge for the the embroidery, everything is kept and is considered, and then the margin is kept. Okay, and then we sell the product. Okay, then we actually sell the product. और ये पैसा किसके पॉकेट से जा रहा है? कंज्यूमर के पॉकेट से जा रहा है. ओके, कंज्यूम, क्योंकि हमें नीड है, हमें सुंदर कपड़ों का चीज मतलब मन है पहनने का. So which is why we tend to pay money and then we go for it, we buy a new product, right? Right, understood. Is that clear? Mhm. Okay, now let's talk about the global impact that the fashion industry exerts. Okay, so the fashion industry exerts a significant global impact across economic, social, environment, and cultural dimensions, influencing various aspects of people's lives around the world. what it means that ग्लोबल इम्पैक्ट मतलब हर एंगल से इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है. ओके, द फंक्शनल एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ दिस इंडस्ट्री हैज अ ह्यूज इम्पैक्ट. It has positive impact, it has negative impact as well, right? So let's talk about it one by one. First is the economic impact. Okay, so it has been divided across, I have divided it across four major dimensions. So the four dimensions are economic impact, social impact, cultural impact, and environmental impact, right? Now let's talk about the this economic impact. Okay, now uh, the fashion industry employs over 60 million people worldwide. Okay, from farmers to textile workers to designers, models, and marketeers, right? So imagine the contribution, right? इतने लोगों को वो सॉरी जॉब प्रोवाइड कर रहा है. ओके, डिजाइन में, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में, रिटेल में, मार्केटिंग में, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में, सप्लाई चेन में, यू नो सो lot of economic impact, right? Here मेजर प्रोडक्शन जो होता है यहाँ पे, इकोनॉमिक इम्पैक्ट बहुत तरीके का होता है. देखो, global impact as in the industry employs over 60 million people worldwide, from farmers to textile workers, designers, models, marketeers, right? The major production of this production hubs are India, China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Turkey. Major consumer market is USA, Europe, Japan, China, right? And it has a huge significant contribution to the GDP, right? Fashion contributes billions of dollars annually to the global economy. The apparel and the footwear market alone is worth rupees 2.5 trillion dollars. Can you imagine the amount of business that is getting generated, right? So it's huge, right? Fashion has created one of the most interconnected global systems, right? Supply systems, raw material from one region, manufacturing in another, and retail at yet another. So it is huge, right? At the same time, textile and fashion exports drive the economies of many developing countries because innovation comes into force, and which is why आप मान लो यहाँ पे इंडिया में प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट कम है, लेबर कॉस्ट कम है, विच इज वाई यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन करवाते हैं लोग. श्रीलंका, बांग्लादेश वगैरह में प्रोडक्शन करवाते हैं यूरोपियन कंट्रीज. वाई? इट बिकॉज द लेबर कॉस्ट इज लो, राइट? इसीलिए यहाँ पे टेक्सटाइल और फैशन एक्सपोर्ट्स बहुत ज्यादा है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक तो फेयर ट्रेड प्रैक्टिसेस है, यहाँ पे लेबर लॉज इंटैक्ट है. एंड देन लेकिन कुछ कंट्रीज हैं जो कि लेबर लॉज भी इंटैक्ट नहीं है, जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल बांग्लादेश, राइट? सो देयर आर स्वेट शॉप्स जहाँ पे कि लोगों को बहुत छोटे छोटे रूम्स में काम करना पड़ता है, एंड विच इज वेरी अनहाइजीनिक, वेरी the work in very pathetic conditions, right? In very inhuman conditions, and this brand do not pay them well. Yet we do not know the ugly reality of fashion industry, which is why we end up buying good clothes, saying that कि अच्छा ये यहाँ पे बना हुआ है, ये ऐसे बना है, ये उस ब्रांड का है, ये वैसा है. But do we know the harsh reality of it? The harsh reality is that they pay them a minimum wage, and then they make them work in very inhuman conditions, and at the same time, they they source from those countries where the labor laws are not intact, right? So should we pursue that brand? Definitely not. We should boycott those brands like Asda, Primark. So these are big market players, they were market players at one given point of time, because with the rising consciousness of today's people, right? So people are getting very conscious. People are just not buying a product, they are buying values with it, right? So people day by day are choosing right fashion. Okay, something which is sustainable, something which is ethical, something which is made ethically, right? So all of these things comes into force, right? Now, coming to cultural and social impact, are you getting me? Prerna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, are you there? Did you follow what did I talk about in social impact?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay. Sorry, in economic impact. Sorry. Can you give me an example that how you know the system works in terms of economic impact? Is in ki how do you think that fashion industry में economic impact अगर हो रहा है तो छोटे छोटे ऑनलाइन बिजनेसेस का इम्पैक्ट क्या कैसा रहा होगा एक कंट्री में? इंडिया की बात करते हैं, इंडिया में ऑनलाइन बिजनेसेस का क्या सिनेरियो है? कैन यू टॉक अबाउट इट?
About in online marketing, there is not much as famous as the big brands are going on. And just in online marketing, the people who are just starting the online shopping or promoting any clothes, they should have that much investments also. And it is very hard to promote that clothes by the brands for the online in nowadays because online has a biggest scam about the clothes and what they are showing and what they are selling. It's totally different.
No, no, talk about the economic impact. How does it impact the online business, the small retail players? How does it impact their business?
They are just giving the biggest loss to the people who are selling the retail clothes because online people are thinking that is the cheapest, we will buy that, and not the retail which are selling in the shops. And it is the biggest loss for the retail workers. And the workers who are just making the clothes and working for many hours in the looms, it is the biggest hard working time for them, and they are giving their most biggest achievement to the making the clothes, and we are buying in the cheapest way.
Okay, okay. So you are saying essentially that कि जो बड़े ब्रांड्स हैं उनका सेल डिप हो रहा है ये छोटे ब्रांड्स की वजह से, क्योंकि ये लोग कम पैसे में बेच देते हैं एंड द एक्चुअल मार्जिन ऑफ द ऑफ द रिटेल स्टोर इज गेट्स इनटू लॉसेस, राइट?
Yes, ma'am. And nowadays, only online marketing is very popular, and not the people are very interested in the offline marketing.
Okay, just a second, huh, Prerna, just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
जीजी बहुत छोटा बात है बिल्ली अच्छी बात है थोड़ा सा पहुंच ओ ओ ओ ओ Okay, now let's talk about the cultural and social impact, right? Now, culture, fashion serves as a cultural exchange, right? Fashion acts as a language or identity and a bridge between cultures. You know, हम अगर सिल्क रूट की बात करें, if we go back to our trade routes, ancient period, you would see that हम लोग बोट से शिप से, ठीक है, स्पाइसेस ट्रेड करते थे, करेक्ट? चाइना से सिल्क प्रोडक्शन होता था तो सिल्क लेके आते थे. सो इट वाज नॉट जस्ट अ एक्सचेंज ऑफ कमोडिटी, बट it had we had exchange of work, we had exchange of language, we had exchange of cultures in terms of the सिग्निफिकेंस. जैसे कि हम लोग आज के डेट में चाइना को आज के डेट में हम लोग सिल्क को बहुत प्योर और प्रिस्टीन मानते हैं. इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट द वे इट हैज बीन मेड. कौन बनाता है? द चाइनीज वे द वन हु एक्चुअली डेवलप्ड सिल्क, right? From the cocoon they started earring, and then what not. Now, rest is history. Now you see silk everywhere. So it is that popular, right? And silk is very expensive because of the luxury that it carries, right? So fashion serves as a medium of cultural exchange where traditional attire inspires global design, global trends influence local dress. So it is a trickle up, trickle down theory, right? आपने देखा है कि कोल्हापुरी चप्पल अभी प्राडा में कैसे यूज हुआ. इफ यू आर currently aware of the news, okay, and no credit was given. But when a case was filed, because we had the GI, geographical indication, for Kolhapuri chappals, so then they put it that the inspiration has been taken from India, Kolhapuri chappals, right? So that's the thing. Now, coming to uh, so this is how the traditional attire inspired a global design, right? Japanese kimono silhouettes, Indian embroidery, African prints influencing international fashion. So everyone has their own ethnicity. Every country has their own ethnic practices, regional practices, and when it goes to a international scale, it becomes a global sensation, right? So that's how socially people get to know about each other, right? So fashion is a form of self expression and empowerment wherein individuals are enabled to construct and communicate their personal narratives and identities through their clothing, through their cultural heritage, through their individual collective identities, right? Right? So that is one, right? Now, representation and identity. Now, fashion follows individuals to express gender, religion, ethnicity, and personality. Also plays a crucial role in social movements like women's liberation through trousers. राइट, मैं अभी आपको बता रही थी ना कि कैसे शनेल ने ट्राउजर्स इंट्रोड्यूस किया, कैसे फंक्शनल क्लोथिंग इंट्रोड्यूस किया, राइट, एंड दैट्स हाउ शी बिकेम famous for introducing lightwear garments, wherein at that point of time women were supposed to wear big gowns, right? So black pride with afrocentric design, LGBTQ, right, visibility through androgynous fashion, right, media and pop-up culture, right? Fashion and entertainment industries are deeply intertwined. Films, music, videos, and social media define the spread trends and faster than ever, right? आपको पता है वो पोल्का डॉट्स का मैं लास्ट क्लास एग्जांपल दे रही थी कि वो कैसे एक ग्लोबल सेंसेशन बन गया. So that's the thing. You never know how people take inspiration from movies and then they wear गारमेंट्स. आप खुद भी ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ होगा, आप मूवी में कोई ड्रेस आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा होगा एंड देन फिर आपको मन किया होगा कि वो आप बना के पहने, राइट? आप फैब्रिक खरीद के लाते हो एंड देन फिर उसको पहन के उसको बना के पहनते हो, करेक्ट? सो दैट्स द थिंग, राइट? Now, labor rights and working conditions. Fashion industry faces ongoing challenges related to labor rights. अभी मैं जैसे बोल रही थी कि बांग्लादेश में क्या होता है. Working conditions and ethical sourcing practices, particularly in developing countries, while garment manufacturing is concentrated. Issues such as child labor, forced labor, unfair wages, and unsafe working conditions continue to be a major concern. Promoting calls for greater transparency, accountability, and responsibility across the fashion supply chain. You have to be very transparent क्योंकि आज के डेट में if you see, people are aware about everything, so there is nothing that you can bluff. Okay, you have your product code, you type it and you will see where the country of origin lies, right? From where did it started, how did it got made, from where the fabric was sourced, who made your garment, right? So all of these questions comes into force when you are a responsible and conscious consumer, right? So when you buy such product, you have to be very serious about what you are buying. So wherein labor rights and working conditions are a very important parameter that should we should be considering while we are buying any product, right? Cultural impact, yes. So cultural appropriation and um, अप्रिसिएशन, ग्लोबलाइजेशन. आपको पता है आज के डेट में हर चीज ग्लोबलाइज हो चुका है. So globalization always raises a debate on using cultural symbols respectfully. Designer must know to navigate authenticity and sensitivity. कभी कभी क्या होता है, हम जो चीज देखते हैं कि अच्छा ये बहुत अच्छा है, माओई ट्राइब का एक बहुत अच्छा टैटू है, बहुत फेमस टैटू है ना, ना ठीक है पिंकी से काम चलिए, चलिए चलिए, ठीक है। हाँ, सो माओई ट्राइब का एक बहुत फेमस टैटू है, राइट। सो इट हैज डीप रूटेड सिग्निफिकेंस, राइट। लेकिन उस चीज को लेके बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स ने छेड़खानी किया कि टी शर्ट में प्रिंट कर दिया, ठीक है, डिनर प्लेट्स में प्रिंट कर दिया, राइट, शूज में प्रिंट कर दिया। सो rather than giving due credit to the tribe, ओके, वो चीज को उन्होंने ऐसे ही, पीपल थॉट कि ओके ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग पैटर्न है, ये ब्रांड ने डेवलप किया है, वेयर इज इट इज नॉट दैट, राइट। ये एक ट्राइब से आपने इंस्पिरेशन लिया है, एक दूसरा कल्चर से आपने इंस्पिरेशन लिया है। सो यू हैव टू give due credit to the people who are using it or who have been using it. They are the real owners of the particular cultural identity because they are carrying it through their blood, skin, right, through their traditions, right. So this is a mark of their cultural appropriation which has been done by the brand. So rather than appreciating the work of a particular tribe, they're not giving due credit to the brand, not to the tribe, but then they are making profit just for the sake of making money. So that's again very unethical practice. Very unethical practice, right? Now, coming cultural appropriation के बारे में मैंने आपको बताया, ग्लोबलाइजेशन के बारे में बताया आपको, sustainability and cultural heritage. Okay, fashion sustainability efforts can often intersect with cultural heritage preservation as designers brands seek to incorporate traditional craftsmanship, artisanal techniques, and indigenous materials into their collection. So, whenever a brand is launching their collection, be it spring, summer, autumn, winter, what they do is they tend to incorporate the traditional practices in their work, right? Artisanal techniques, for example, जैसे कि इंडिया में कच्छ में अजरक एक रेजिस्ट मर्ड डाइंग टेक्निक है, प्रिंटिंग फैब्रिक बनाते हैं वो लोग। उस चीज को अगर एक ब्रांड ने बोला कि अच्छा ये मेरा टेक्निक है, मैंने बनाया है, it is not ethical, right? You have to give due credit to the craft itself. You have to give due credit to the craft itself, right? uh, Artisanal technique, the processes of making it, and the indigenous material, जैसे कि नेचुरल डाइज हो गए, मैडर रूट से कोई कलर निकालता है, कोई माइरोबाइलन सीड से कलर निकलता है, सो ऑल ऑफ दैट, राइट। तो डिजाइनर्स तो बोलते हैं कि अच्छा ये सारी चीजें हैं जो हम यूज करते हैं अपने क्राफ्ट में, वेयर इज इट इज अ वेरी वेरी ट्रेडिशनल एंड एंशिएंट प्रैक्टिस। तो उसको अपने ब्रांड में अगर आप इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो, so you should promote it by the craft itself, by the people themselves, right? By promoting sustainable fashion practices and supporting local artisan and communities, the industry can contribute towards the preservation and celebration of cultural heritage around the world. If you give due credit to the people who are actually working on it rather than just saying that this is the brand work, no, definitely not, then you can actually preserve a craft. Okay, you can actually celebrate the cultural heritage that we are rejoicing right now, saying that कि okay इंडिया में इतने सारे हैंडलूम्स हैं, इतने सारा क्राफ्ट कल्चर है, राइट। ये हम तभी कर सकते हैं जब हम क्राफ्ट को समझते हैं और लोगों को ड्यू क्रेडिट देते हैं उनके काम के लिए। इज दैट क्लियर? या। Okay, now talking about environmental impact, fashion is one of the largest polluting industries in the world. Okay, it is one of the largest polluting. Now, how does it pollute? Resource depletion. Okay, what the impact does it has in pollution, resource depletion, waste generation, right? Chemical pollution, carbon footprint, microplastic pollution. Okay. Okay, now if I talk about the if I talk about just a second, the impact that it has over the environment. So first is your resource consumption reduces 10% of the global carbon, reduces 10% of the global carbon emission. अगर global carbon emission मान लो 100% हो रहा है, फैशन इंडस्ट्री से ही मेजरली कहीं किसी का 2% या 3% अगर होगा, लेकिन फैशन इंडस्ट्री का 10%, okay, requires 2,700 liters of water to make just one cotton shirt. Can you imagine the amount of resource depletion that has been doing? Right? 2,700 liters of water to make just one cotton shirt. Intensive dyeing and chemical processes pollute water bodies. हम जो हैवी केमिकल्स यूज करते हैं उसके वजह से, और उसको डायरेक्टली नदी में या किसी में, तो एक्वेटिक इकोसिस्टम भी डिस्टर्ब होता है क्योंकि हम उस पानी को ट्रीट नहीं करते, और हम लोग ऐसे ही पानी को, केमिकल डाइड वाटर को छोड़ देते हैं पानी में, जिससे कि एक्वेटिक इकोसिस्टम जो है वो पूरा बिगड़ जाता है. ठीक है, so it has a huge impact, huge impact. Textile waste, millions and tons of unsold and discarded garments end up in landfills annually. Fast fashion has accelerated overconsumption and waste. आज के डेट पे लोग इतना ब्रेनलेसली कपड़ा खरीद रहे हैं, they do not understand the implications of it. Okay, what they do is this, they have, there was a point where people only consumed, now people are over consuming it, even if there is no need, but still they are keep on buying it. They said, it's a therapy, shopping is a therapy. No, it's not. You have to be, you have to be sure of what you are buying. If there's a need, then you should buy, because in this climate, in this changing world, you never know what is going to happen next, right? And it is very detrimental to, it has very detrimental effect. You do not know what legacy are you leaving for your children, right? What, how are you buying, how are you purchasing? Do you, we need to realize all of those implications which will be affecting our future generations, right? So the waste that we are generating, which is getting filled in, the waste that is getting filled in the landfill, is absolutely non-negotiable, non-negotiable, right? There are lot of brands now, because there is rise, there is a lot of concern. People are actually buying sustainable products. Okay, there has been a rise, there has been people who are buying sustainable products, and at the same time there are brands who are working on it. Brands like Patagonia, Stella McCartney, Levi's, Adidas use sustainable production methods, right? The amount of carbon footprints it leaves, through manufacturing, through production, through transportation. So it's huge. The rise of fast fashion and globalized supply chains have led to the increased transportation emissions from the movement of by the movement of goods across long distances, right? Microplastic pollution, synthetic fibers we are using, right? We're using synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, acrylic. So आप देख रहे हो आज के डेट में कितना पॉल्यूशन है. आप आज के डेट में देख रहे हो कि गर्मी होती है तो कितनी गर्मी होती है, बारिश हो रही है तो सितंबर अक्टूबर तक बारिश हो रही है, whereas it should ideally end by अगस्त एंड और सितंबर फर्स्ट वीक, बट ये कंटिन्यू कर रहा है पूरा सितंबर अक्टूबर तक. आई मीन इट्स ह्यूज. द यू कैन सी द इफेक्ट विच इज डायरेक्टली गेटिंग अफेक्टेड. आपके क्लाइमेटिक चेंजेस के बारे में देखो आप किस तरीके से, यू नो, हाउ आर वी कोपिंग अप विद दिस नेचुरल कैलामिटीज. ठीक है, कहीं पे बाढ़ आ रही है, तो कहीं पे वो, you know, there's a outsurge of rainfall. I mean, it's the impact is huge, right? And we don't realize कि हमारे उतना अवेयरनेस में नहीं है लोगों में कि हम कुछ यूज करें. मान लो जरूरत नहीं, कैरी योर प्लास्टिक बैग्स, carry your bags, so that you don't end up buying plastics, राइट. हम जाते हैं शॉप में, हाँ ठीक है पॉलिथीन में दे दो, लेकिन वी डोंट रियलाइज कि फिर वो पॉलिथीन, वो तो सालों साल, 100 साल, 500 साल तक वो वैसे का वैसे ही रहेगा. इट इज नॉट बायोडिग्रेडेबल एंड वी डोंट रियलाइज दैट कि उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा. आप देखते हो ना, कहीं पे भी इंडिया में जाते हो, वहां पे चिप्स का पैकेट, बिस्किट का पैकेट हम खुद ही फेंक देते हैं. वी डोंट रियलाइज कि वो एक नेचुरल हैबिटेट को हम कितना गंदा करके आ जाते हैं. I believe that the best were the early mans who never polluted this world, जो भी naturally source करते थे, use करते थे, and then फिर, you know, उसको discard करते थे. With the advent of technology, we could witness that it has such long term detrimental effect. कि आज के डेट में हम कहीं पे भी जाते हैं तो कितना गंदा बदबू, you know, pollution, skin allergy, skin cancer, you know, different kind of issues. So you can understand that. एंड ये सिर्फ नहीं है कि सिर्फ फैशन की वजह से, हर चीज के लिए, फॉर द फूड इंडस्ट्री, फॉर द, यू नो, दिस n number of industries, any industry that you take, right? So in overall, I would like to just add that the positive global impact that it had created is, it promotes cultural dialogue and creativity. It generates employment and innovation, empowers artisan and local crafts, encourages sustainable innovation and ethical practices. What are the negative? It has much more, you know, negative global impact, that are environmental pollution and waste, labor exploitation and inequality, overconsumption and loss of natural resources, rapid trend cycles causing unsustainable demand. So, the global fashion industry is both a driver of progress and a source of challenges. So, our future depends on achieving a balance between creativity, sustainability, ethics, and inclusivity. Inclusivity means circular fashion, wherein when we are buying something, we have to be responsible of what we are buying, right? If you are discarding something, we have to be responsible enough that what are we discarding, right? Wherein we could shape a world where fashion not only just looks good but also does good. आपको सिर्फ अच्छा दिखना नहीं है, आपको अच्छा करना भी है. Okay, we could shape a world where fashion not only looks good but also does good, right? So that's all for the class. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.